Arriving by plane at Heathrow Airport comes an important visitor to London, Mr. Malcolm MacDonald, Governor-General of Malaya and Singapore. Accompanying Mr. MacDonald by Mr. A.P. Newbolt, General Secretary, and Mr. O'Connor, Attorney General of the Malayan Union. Object of the visit is a series of consultations with the Colonial Office in connection with Malaya's new constitution. And now, a flashback to Malaya itself, where delegates arrive at King's House for a meeting of the leaders of member states. Among the many personalities attending was Mr. Dato' On, and the presence of the Sultans made this both a royal and historic occasion. Gathered on the lawn of King's House, the assembled potentates formed a colorful group as they posed for the camera. Prominent among the distinguished delegates was the Sultan of Perak. Later, the Governor-General himself took the opportunity of making a film record of a notable event. Much is expected from this important meeting, when various factors dealing with the new and improved regime will be thrashed out for the lasting benefit of this Far Eastern Union holding allegiance to the British flag. A Christmas view of the Holy Land as seen from the tower of the Church of the Nativity. In Bethlehem of Judea, there were shepherds tending their sheep. That's the Bible story, and it's as true today as it was 1946 years ago. The shepherds are Arabs, and there are goats among the flock. There are some changes in Bethlehem, too. The Christian churches of the world have established a great shrine on the supposed site of Christ's birth. The building is entered through a small opening called the Needle's Eye, with the practical object, so it is said, of stopping camel drivers taking a shortcut through the courtyard. British soldiers are among the frequent sightseers these days. When you go inside to the sanctuary, you should not expect to find a manger in an ancient barn. You will be shown a hallowed spot, which the priests say is the site of the manger, and opposite is an altar. You stand in one of the sacred places of the Christian religion, and it has become, of course, a place of worship. In Athens, when Field Marshal Smuts recently arrived there, he was greeted by Crown Prince Paul and Crown Princess Frederica. They had become close friends of his in the war years, for they lived in the Union during the occupation of Greece. Soon after his arrival, Smuts, who received a warm welcome in the capital, paid tribute at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Home from home for 3 million servicemen and women, London's stage door canteen closes down. Still popular after 2.5 years, the close down has brought many protests from service people. Alternative accommodation is needed and should be provided to embrace all the services, with emphasis on the embrace. Guests and entertainers alike were sorry to leave. Outside, a crowd of 2,000 strong watched Chairman Charles Dixon perform his duty with padlock and chain. Time yet to sing Auld Lang Syne as they march down Piccadilly. Memories mingle with the hope that new premises may yet be found and the stage door spirit live again.
Special coaches for the royal train to be used by the King on his South African tour had a somewhat difficult journey to Birkenhead. Being too wide and too high for some of the tunnels and bridges, they'd had special bogies fitted. Here, coaches are being slewed back into a central position on the bogies after the adjustment necessary to pass through the tunnel. A number of railwaymen travelled with the train to carry out this work, and they were kept pretty busy. From Birmingham, the 88-mile trip took over 15 hours. The bogies to be used on the different South African gauge had arrived earlier at Birkenhead, where the coaches were loaded onto a floating crane for shipment aboard the steamship Explorer en route for the Cape. The Royal Tour is due to start about the middle of February, and this train should contribute to the smoothness of the extensive travelling involved.
Britain's biggest battleship, the 42,000-ton Vanguard, is back from her shakedown cruise to Gibraltar, and she's just about ready for the royal trip to South Africa. Liberty men, complete with presents for the family, are making the most of the few remaining leaves before the great sailing. Pompey is used to this sight, the might of the Navy dwarfing her docks, Jack with his duffel and ditty streaming down the gangway. But for us landlubbers, here's a smell of the sea and a reminder that the Navy's still one of the best ways to see the world. In this year of peace, it's not surprising that international sportsmen, too, are becoming considerate and polite. Italian Roccola and Belgian Van de Weken are giving a Brussels circus audience a lesson in manners. No, Signor Roccola, that's the referee. An exhibition of brotherly love that should be an example to us all. Now, gently, gentlemen, please. And that is how the Belgian Van de Weken finishes the Italian Roccola and finishes the referee too. Toujours la politesse. This B-29 is helping to make history at the American Naval Ordnance Station in California. In the cabin, the cosmic scientist adjusts the instruments that will measure cosmic rays shooting by at a height of 40,000 feet. The secrets of interstellar space are being unlocked. And here's a newcomer among rockets, Tiny Tim, an 11-inch Devil on its 1,500-foot launching rail. An aerial rocket as well. Here it's being tested as an armor piercer, and it makes heavy armor plate look like wet tissue paper. A promising horror indeed. But here in New Mexico, another V-2 is about to take off, this time to explore and record the secrets of the upper atmosphere. Man-made meteorites will be created by the explosion at 200,000 feet of metal-bearing grenades. Instruments are tuned, all is set. A V-2 110 miles up. Maybe we'll know its secrets later.